Hello everybody, Inter back again with another video, and today guys I'm going to talk about this upcoming Indian Wells tournament that we have in front of us in a couple of days and in a couple of weeks. It has started already this week guys, but we all know that the top guys, the top seeds, they go into the competition later this week. So I'm going to talk a little about this first Masters tournament this year, who are the favorites, who are the dark horses, who I believe will win it in the end, and so on. Alright guys, I'm gonna start with the number 5 favorite, number 4th, number 3rd, and I'm gonna go up in that way, and of course then I'm gonna have number 1 and some dark horses. Alright guys, so we're gonna start with number 5 on my list, who I believe will be a favorite to win this tournament. And of course number 5 is the less likely to win, and number 1 is the most likely to win. I know that you understand this guys, this is simple. So number 5 in my list is actually Gael Monfils. I never hyped this player. He has enormous talent. His talent has been wasted in many years because he is a very lazy tennis player. But he definitely has so much talent, guys. And we have a couple of reasons why he has wasted his talents in so many years. He has definitely underachieved, this player, because he should had a much better career, but because he doesn't want to train a lot, he doesn't want to give 100% for his tennis. He more or less wants to train when he wants, because I have inside information about Gael Monfils, guys, that basically sometimes in his career, not sometimes but a lot of times, he has been on the practice court for 15 minutes and said, I'm tired, I don't want to train more, and he has left the court. So this is one of the reasons why Gael Monfils has not had a greater career, a much greater. He definitely has not fulfilled his enormous potential, in my opinion. But lately he has shown some great results, guys. He won Rotterdam, he played the semifinals in Dubai. He had a couple of match points, I think 2 match points against Tsitsipas. He didn't convert. So I definitely think he deserves to be on my 5 place in these favorites in Indian Wells. I don't think he will win in the Wells, of course. I will be surprised if he did, but I think he will go to the quarterfinals. That's my opinion. That's my feeling at least. I think he will go to the quarterfinals because he has a pretty decent draw here in the Wells. He doesn't have any impossible opponents in his 2 first matches. And then in the quarterfinals, I think it will get stop there, because he most probably I think he will face him, lose to that guy, and that guy is Novak Djokovic, and Gael Monfils almost never beats Novak Djokovic. I don't know what the head-to-head is, but I think Gael Monfils has never defeated Djokovic, if I'm not corrected. He always has so much trouble against the Super Serb. So I think Gael Monfils is one of the favorites, and he is on my 5th place on this Indian Wells favorites list. I think he deserves that place, to be quite honest. So on my 4th place I have Alexander Zverev, guys. And the reason why I have Alexander Zverev, I don't think he will win this tournament, but Alexander Zverev is always a threat in 2 sets of competitions, guys. He has not convinced me to have him as a fourth place in a slam. He hasn't, to be quite honest, and I don't believe he will win a slam this year. But he has won Masters before. He has won ATP Tour finals. He won ATP Tour finals last year in London. So he is a great player. But he isn't a great player yet on the Grand Slam level. The best results he has had so far in his career is a quarterfinals in French Open last year. But Masters, he has been pretty good, guys. He has won 2 Masters, I think. He has been he has a couple of semifinals. I think he was in semifinals last year or something like that. I don't remember, but he has had great results before in Masters. So. And I think this is a surface that will suit him. This surface is pretty slow, guys. It bounces pretty high, and Alexander Zverev is pretty tall, so he will take those balls pretty high on his body. So he will have a pretty great opportunities to make great winners because this. High bounce will help him with that, I think. And the surface, like I said, isn't that fast. This is one of the most slowest surface this year, to be quite honest. It's almost like clay. It's not clay, of course, but it's almost like clay. It's pretty slow. And Alexander Zverev, he isn't the most super fast guy on the tour, so that will help him to get to the balls. So I think he is my number 4th. He is my number 4th favorite in this in the Wells competition, I think, and he has a pretty decent draw. The toughest guy from his quarter section is Agut. Agut is he's really solid. So of course Alexander Zverev can lose to Agut. I would not be surprised if he did that, but. I will pick Alexander Zverev just slight ahead of Agut, just slight. But anything can happen. This is tennis. To predict tennis, it's not easy, guys. It's not easy because these all are professional tennis players, and in any given day they all can beat each other. Really, they really can do. So, but Alexander Zverev is in my 4th place, so I'm feeling that he deserves that place. On my 3rd favorite list, on my 3rd place, it is Rafael Nadal. Rafael Nadal is Rafael Nadal, guys. He was in Australian Open final. He lost to a superb Novak Djokovic, who did. Probably the greatest match of his life. I've never seen Novak Djokovic do a better match than that Australian Open final, to be quite honest. He just did nine unforced errors. So, alright, now Rafa Nadal didn't do his best performance in his life, I know that, but Novak Djokovic didn't help him to be good, to say it in that way. So Novak Djokovic did Rafa Nadal bad in that final, but Rafa Nadal did also Novak Djokovic good. So it was a vice versa love affair, if we can call that way. So, but he was in Australian Open final, and he choked against Kyrgios in Acapulco. He choked against the champion later on, because Kyrgios, we all know, that went on to win that competition. So if Rafa had converted his match points, he most probably would have won Acapulco. So the margins in tennis are very slim, guys. I've been talked about this before, and I will say it again. Margins in tennis are very small, especially at this level. Like I said earlier, everybody can beat everybody, guys, in any given day. So just because Rafa Nadal lost in that fourth round or third round, what it was in Acapulco, and wasted 3 match points, I cannot rule him out. Never. I don't never rule a guy like Rafael Nadal out. No. I watched tennis too long to rule out him. So I will not rule out Rafael Nadal. He was my number third. He's my number third favorite in the Wells. I think he will go to semifinals. I really do. That's my feeling. I think he will go to semifinals. He has not any impossible opponents in his draw. He has, I think, Schwartzman, and the Schwartzman is the most dangerous guy he has in his draw, and Schwartzman has not shown any great results in this latest month. So I think Rafael Nadal will get to a semifinal, at least. And then my second favorite on this in the Wells competition is Roger Federer. Roger Federer is showing some great tennis still, guys, even though he's 37 years old. But Roger Federer is one of the greatest talents that we have ever seen, if not the greatest of talents of all time, in my opinion. And he has a tennis that don't affect his age so much. He doesn't grind his opponents down. He plays first strike tennis like you all guys know. So he will always be a threat. Roger Federer will be in top 10 ranking, I think, till he's 40 years old, guys, because he plays such freely and non-energetic tennis with no long rallies and that's why he is still successful, even though he is one of the oldest on the ATP Tour. One of the oldest. He definitely is one of the top 3 oldest that still is playing tennis on the ATP Tour. And he is still so successful. He is still in the top 10 in the world. He's number 4 or number 5 at least on the ranking right now. So the reason why he's still successful, because he's one of the greatest talents that we have ever seen. He plays first strike tennis. He doesn't go into long, exhausting rallies. He will end the point pretty quick. He has a great serve. Roger Federer's serve is one of the greatest serve of all time, guys. I'm not saying that his serve is the greatest of all time. I'm not saying that. Don't jump on the comment section, but his serve is one of the greatest of all time, especially his second serve. And it is a word that we use with tennis lovers. You serve as great as your second serve is. Yes, because most of these guys have a great first serve. Most, not all, but most of these guys has not a great second serve, and that's what Roger Federer has. He has a great second serve. So when you serve that good, like Roger does, you will always be a threat, even when you're 37, 38 years old, like he is at the moment. He is 37 years old at the moment. So Roger Federer, I think and he has a decent draw. I think he has a good draw. The most dangerous guy I think he has in his section is, I think it was Nishikori, and Nishikori is. We all know Nishikori. He never wins big tournaments, guys, and he has never won a Grand Slam. To say he has been in one final in 2014 against Cilic. He has never won a Masters event. Nishikori is a guy that always goes to the 4th round, quarterfinals, and loses to Djokovic, Nadal, or to Federer. Nishikori, to me, is the new, how you call it, the new Thomas Berdych. Thomas Berdych was a solid top 10 guys for so many years, at least 10 years, but he always lost to Federer, Nadal, Djokovic. Nishikori is the new Thomas Berdych. He makes great results, he wins a couple of rounds, but always loses to these 3 guys. So I don't see Nishikori beating Federer. He can definitely do that. Everybody can beat each other in any given day here, if you have a good day on the job. But I'm not picking Nishikori to beat Federer. No, I'm not. So I think Federer will go through his section on the court in his quarter section and make it to a semi-final. That's my prediction. And in a semi-final, Federer will face Rafa Nadal. And I pick Roger Federer to beat actually Rafa Nadal. I really do. I am not in my life earlier picked Roger Federer over Nadal a lot of times because Rafa Nadal is a very bad matchup for Roger Federer. But least, but he this time of around I am picking Roger Federer over Rafa Nadal because Roger Federer has 5 match. He is in a 5 match winning streak against Rafa Nadal, 4 matches in 2017 in a row, and 1 match in 2015, I think, in Basel final, because in 2016 I think they never faced each other, and in 2018 they didn't face each other either. But anyway, Federer is in a 5 match winning streak against Rafa Nadal. Of course, Rafa Nadal can end that winning streak. The winning streaks will always end at some point. But I'm not picking Rafa Nadal over Roger Federer. I'm not doing that. So I think Roger Federer will go to the semi-final with Rafa Nadal, and I think Roger Federer will beat Rafa Nadal in the semi-final. So my number one pick is, no surprise, it is for the most of the tennis people around the world, and I'm not any different. It's Novak Djokovic. It's hard to pick against Novak Djokovic these days, guys. He won the Australian Open. He did it, and he was impressive in Australian Open, especially in the semifinals and in the finals. He's the best tennis player in the world at the moment. He has lost only 1 match this year. It was against Agut in that Doha quarterfinal. But Agut is not a bad player. He definitely isn't. So it was not a. It is not a shame to lose to a guy like that. So, but when it comes to big tournaments like it was in Australian Open, Novak Djokovic was the last man standing. And now it's another big tournament. This is not a Grand Slam, but it is definitely the biggest tournament after Australian Open this year so far. The biggest tournament after Australian Open this year so far. It is Indian Wells. And when these big tournaments starts, these top guys, they are always hard to defeat. But Novak Djokovic is not as great. It's not as great. How will I put this? Favorite like he was in Australian Open, because he is easier to beat in 3 sets, guys. He definitely is. Not just Novak Djokovic, even Rafa Nadal, even Roger Federer. In 5 sets, these 3 icons are more difficult to beat because we have to play greater tennis for a longer time. You have to take 3 sets from them. But in this case, you have to take 2 sets. You have to beat them in 2 sets. For longest 3 sets if the sets are 1-1. So Novak Djokovic is the favorite, but he's not an overwhelming favorite, not in my opinion. He can be beaten. He definitely can. And one guy who can defeat Novak Djokovic before he gets to that final against Federer, like I'm predicting, is Nick Kyrgios actually, but I'm not trusting in Nick Kyrgios' consistency level. That's the thing with Nick Kyrgios. He has an enormous potential. He is one of the greatest talents that has ever come through. One of the greatest talents, because he has all, guys. He has the serve. He has the forehand. His forehand is so heavy. He can hit it flat. He can hit it with great topspin. He can make a drop shot. He has so touch for the game, guys. And he has a great backhand as well. His backhand is not as great as his forehand, of course not, but it's not bad. It definitely is not bad. So, and Nick Kyrgios, then the serve. I don't need even to talk about his serve. His serve is one of the greatest serves in the world. Both his first serve and his second serve. He can go matches sometimes without being break, guys. He can be unbreakable for 2-3 hours. So Nick Kyrgios can definitely beat Novak Djokovic in that 3rd round. If Nick Kyrgios gets through Kohlschreiber, a really, really tough opponent in Kohlschreiber. Kohlschreiber is a solid top 20, top 30 player, guys, and he has been that in 5 to 10 years. So Kohlschreiber is not an easy opponent. He can. I would not be surprised if Nick Kyrgios got upset from Kohlschreiber, but I think Nick Kyrgios will get through the tough German and meet Novak Djokovic in the third round. And in that third round, Novak Djokovic will not have an easy time. Nobody will have an easy time against Nick Kyrgios when Nick Kyrgios plays good, like he's doing at the moment. But I don't trust in Nick Kyrgios' consistency. That's the thing with this young, great Aussie. He has so high level, but his low level is not that great, in my opinion. But he has defeated Novak Djokovic 2 times, and Novak Djokovic has never defeated Nick Kyrgios. It's 2-0 in the head-to-head. But I'm not picking an upset here. I'm not picking an upset. I cannot go against Novak Djokovic, because when Nick Kyrgios defeated Novak Djokovic, it was in 2017. And Novak Djokovic didn't have a great 2017, like we all remember. So I'm picking Novak Djokovic to defeat Nick Kyrgios in that third round. But I would not be surprised if Nick Kyrgios defeated Novak Djokovic. I really would not. Nick Kyrgios is my dark horse. He isn't in my top 5 list. And the reason why he isn't that, because I don't trust in his consistency level. He is not the most consistent guy out there. I know he has a great high level when he is on fire, like he showed in Acapulco. But the margins are small. He could lose to Nadal if Nadal would convert those 3 match points. But anyway, that doesn't count. The guy won. He deserved that Acapulco title. But to have him on my top 5 favorite list, I don't have him. I don't feel comfortable to have him. But he's one of my dark horses. Nick Kyrgios is one of my dark horses. As well as Stan Wawrinka. He has shown some great results lately. He won. He didn't win. He was in Rotterdam, in that Rotterdam final, and lost to Gael Monfils. Then he lost to Nick Kyrgios, who was not ashamed to lose to Nick Kyrgios, who later won Acapulco. So Stan Wawrinka has shown some good results lately. So he's one of my dark horses as well in Indian Wells. And another dark horse that I have is Agut. Agut is always a dark horse to me, guys. He's a light version of Novak Djokovic in his tennis style. He's a worse version of Novak. He's a worse version of Novak Djokovic, of course, but he plays very similar to the Super Serbian guys. So Agut is one of my dark horses as well. Nishikori, Wawrinka, Nick Kyrgios, and Agut are my 3 dark horses. I don't want to have more dark horses. It's enough, guys, because then we have players like Medvedev, Shapovalov, Thiem. I don't know if Raonic, Isner. Isner always dangerous with that serve, especially in United States. He's always dangerous. And we have Koric, we have Tsitsipas, but I don't believe in these guys. I really don't do. Koric, he has great. He's a great tennis player, of course, but I don't believe in him. I definitely don't think he will defend his semi-final spot like from last year. I definitely don't do that. And Tsitsipas, he has played too much tennis lately, guys. I don't think he will do a big damage in Indian Wells. I really don't think. I think he will get upset pretty early. I really do. Nishikori, like I said, the most that I can see him go through is to a quarterfinal, then he will get defeated by Roger Federer. Isner, to be quite honest, he has not showed any amazing results lately. Yes, he was in that semi-final in Acapulco, but that's pretty much it, guys. He hasn't showed any more than that. But he's always dangerous in United States, so of course he can be a threat. But I don't count with him. Those guys that I'm counting with is those top 5 I mentioned, and the dark horses: Nick Kyrgios, Wawrinka, and Agut. Of course, everything can happen in tennis. It's impossible to get everything right. It's impossible, and I'm sure that I will not get everything right here. But this is what I think will happen in the Wells. This is my predictions. These are my top 5 favorites, and these are my 3 dark horses. And the winner, I think it will be Novak Djokovic, and I think he will defeat Roger Federer in the final. That's what I think. That is what my feeling is telling me. And let's see if I'm right or if I'm wrong. Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. Take care and see you next time. Bye bye.